Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a grade 9 concept, more specifically in unit 2, which talks about powers and exponent laws. So we're going to be heading off with 2.1, what is power? So our definition here says, in math, the term power means a result of a raising number to an exponent. In other terms, it's also a way of showing repetition or multiplication of a same number. The power has two parts. The first part is a base, and this tells you that this is the number that is being multiplied. The second part is our exponent, which this tells you how many times to multiply the base by itself. So this is just a visual representation of how it looks like. So this can be said as a raised to the power of n. So here our a is the base and our n is the exponent that will be multiplied by whatever times you have, so n times. So let's do an example. Our a in this case is going to be 3, and our n in this case is going to be 4. So this can be said as 3 raised to the power of 4. Now for our second one, our a is going to be 6, and our n is going to be 2. So this can be said as 6 raised to the power of 2. And if you want to evaluate this, this is basically just saying that 3 is going to be multiplied by itself 4 times. So this is going to be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which gives us 81. The second one is going to be 6 basically multiplied by itself 2 times. So this will be 6 times 6, which gives us 36. Now we have other cases. In different problems, exponent can be negative or fractions. So when you guys also evaluate them, it's going to show up as fractions or roots. So the first one is 2 to the minus 3. In this case, our a is going to be 2, and our n is going to be minus 3. So whenever you guys have like the power that is negative, just make sure, this is like a really easy way to solve it better. Just bring down the fraction. So like bring it down. I'll show you guys how. So like let's say this is 2 minus 3, right? And this is already over 1. So you guys are going to bring this to the bottom, which is now going to be 1 over 2 to the 3. Now this is not going to be 1 to the 2 minus 3, because that's not how it works, and it's not going to give you the right answer. Whenever it goes to the bottom, guys, it always turns back into a positive, because now if you bring this back up, obviously it's going to be back to a negative. So once you guys have 2 to the power 3, you guys are going to solve it just like how you guys did originally. So it's just going to be 1 over 2 times 2 times 2, because the 2 is being multiplied by itself 3 times, which just gives us 1 over 8. So for example number 2, we have 9 to the power 1/2. So basically, 1/2 can be another way of writing the square root, 2 over 1. And so in this case, we have 9, and the square root of 9 is basically 3. So in this, our answer is going to be 3. Now we have a special case. Well, not special, but it is very different. What about 4 to the power 0? So whenever we have a 0 as an exponent, it always turns into 1. You guys can have like a million, it will turn into a 1. 1,000 to the power of 0 is going to be 1. Anything basically is just going to be 1. And this is because any number to the 0 power is the product of no numbers at all. So when we evaluate it, it's simply just going to be 1, because you can't, like, there's no, like, we don't have 1, we don't have 2, we don't have 3 as like the n, right? It's just going to be 0, which is just going to give us 1. So now this is just some practice problems. I really hope you guys are understanding what I was saying in the beginning. So you guys can feel free if you guys want to pause it and then you guys want to attempt it by yourselves. These are just all the questions. Or you guys can just go along with me. So the first one is we're going to be writing it as a power. So we see that 1 is our base here. So we're going to write 1 here. And we have to see basically how many times is 1 really showing up. How many times is it being multiplied? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this shows up as 1 to the power of 5 because this is being multiplied 5 times. Now here, we don't see that it's being multiplied again and again. It's only showing up once, right? So the base here is going to be 2. And since it only shows up 1, it's going to just be to the power of 1, which is just 2, like this one. So the next question we have is write in repeated multiplication. So here, what is our base? Our base here is 3, and our exponent here is 6. So this just means that we're going to be multiplying 3 6 times over and over. It's going to be 6 times, sorry, it's going to be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So you guys can also write at the bottom if it helps you guys. And this simply just gives us 729. So this one here, our base is going to be 10, and exponent is 1. So that just means that 10 is being multiplied only one time. So it's just going to be 10, which is just 10. So this one, like I said before, whenever you guys have it to the power of 0, is simply just going to be 1. Next we have identify the base of each power and evaluate. So here we can see that our base is minus 3. So how many times is it being multiplied by? What's our exponent? Our exponent is 4. So it's simply just going to be minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3. 4 times, which is simply going to give us 81. Now, B, minus 3 to the power 3. So one thing you guys have to know is, look over here. This 4 is even, whereas here, it's odd. So whenever there's an odd exponent being multiplied to like an odd base, it's always going to be like minus, because let me show you guys why. So this is going to be 3 minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3. So minus 3 times minus 3, that gives us 9, right? Then 9 times minus 3, the plus and the minus is going to be a minus, right? So it's going to be minus 27, because the power here was odd, and we have this minus sign, which makes it minus 27. So now we have C. Over here, it's just basically just like A. So we can do minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3, right? Because our exponent here is 4, and we're multiplying minus 3 4 times. And we need to make sure we put a bigger bracket, and this is being minus at the start because it's still part of our equation. So when you solve this, we're going to get 81. And so this is going to be minus 81. See how there is a minus in the front? Whereas compared to A, there wasn't a minus. That's because whenever you guys have a minus sign, it always changes up how your number is going to look like. So lastly, we have write each number as a power with a base 2. So this, you guys might be thinking, like, how are we going to go approach this problem? Like, how do we even do this? And one thing I would say for this type of question is to always go backwards. So in here, you guys basically want to think it as like, how many times does 2 go into 4? So our base, we already know, they said it's going to be 2. And if we do, you guys have to also do like a trial or error type of thing. So 2 times 2, what is that? That gives us 4. So you guys see 1 time, 2 times. So it's going to be written as 2, which is our base, like they said, to the power 2, because 2 only shows up 2 times, because 2 times 2 gave us 4. So that's what the answer for that would be. And now we have this big number, 64. So how many times would 2 go into 64? So we can do 2 times 2, which would be 4, times 2. Sorry guys, this is also another way of writing multiplication. So let me just write this for you guys. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2, 8, so that's 3, times 2, times 2, times 2. And if you guys add this up, this will give us 64. So if you count it up now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our base here is 2. And how many 2's are there? 6. So it's going to be 2 to the power 6, which gives us 64. So that was it for this little lesson. I really hope you guys are understanding. If not, please write in the comments if you guys don't understand. I'm very happy to help you guys whenever you guys need help. And once again, subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching.